It all began when HOA Karen, in one of her most reckless and audacious moves yet, cut my fence and threw a party immediately afterward. She claimed the property line was hers, despite the fact that it was clearly on my land. What she did not realize was that the fence provided critical protection for my trained bulls, animals that were not only dangerous but highly intelligent and accustomed to responding to threats. Her audacious interference would trigger consequences she could never have anticipated, leaving her exposed, humiliated, and legally vulnerable. From the moment the fence was cut, every detail was meticulously documented. Security cameras captured Karen and her accomplices cutting through the fencing, laughing, and arranging their party. Audio recordings preserved her conversation, where she boasted about taking control of the property and ignoring boundaries. Historical records of Karen's repeated trespass, harassment, and audacious interference were compiled into a comprehensive dossier. Karen assumed that fear, ignorance, or compliance would allow her actions to succeed, but she was about to discover that audacity without foresight and legal authority is destined to fail. The consequences were immediate. Once the fence was breached, my trained bulls, sensing the intrusion, responded instinctively. They approached the party area, triggering chaos. Guests fled in confusion, and Karen herself was forced to retreat as the bulls asserted territorial dominance. The party, intended to celebrate her perceived victory, quickly became a scene of panic, exposing her audacity and recklessness to all witnesses. Authorities were promptly notified. When law enforcement arrived, they immediately recognized the severity of her actions, cutting a legally protected fence, trespassing, and creating a dangerous situation with potentially lethal animals. Her audacious attempt to assert control and intimidate became clear evidence of recklessness, entitlement, and illegal behavior. Karen's claims of authority were systematically dismantled using property records, security footage, and eyewitness accounts. Her audacious behavior, meant to intimidate and coerce, became irrefutable proof of incompetence. To prevent future interference, permanent measures were implemented. Security cameras were upgraded, fencing was reinforced with high-strength barriers, and warning signage was posted to prevent any unauthorized intrusion. Karen's ability to manipulate, intimidate, or assert authority without standing was permanently neutralized. Every audacious act she attempted became documented evidence of recklessness, incompetence, and entitlement gone disastrously wrong. The community quickly became aware of the incident. Karen's repeated audacious attempts to interfere, manipulate, and assert authority without legal or practical standing were publicly exposed. Observers immediately recognized the principle. Audacity without preparation, legal authority, or strategic foresight inevitably fails when confronted with evidence, law, and well-trained animals. Karen had assumed fear, ignorance, or compliance would follow her actions. Instead, she discovered that reckless interference meets immediate, unavoidable, and humiliating consequences. In the days following the incident, calm returned to the property. Karen's audacity had been decisively neutralized, leaving her exposed, powerless, and publicly humiliated. The fence was fully repaired, the bulls secured, and legal protections ensured no future interference. Her repeated entitlement, reckless interference, and audacious behavior became a cautionary tale for the entire community. By the end of the week, the ranch was serene, secure, and fully under lawful control. Karen's audacity had been decisively defeated, leaving her exposed, powerless, and permanently shamed. Every observer understood the principle. Attempts to manipulate, intimidate, or assert authority without preparation, legal knowledge, or strategic foresight inevitably backfire. Karen had been exposed, powerless, and permanently humbled, leaving the property safe, fully protected, and entirely under rightful authority.